Hey everyone, Anne O'Connell here with OC Publishing, and welcome to the Author Journey. I hope you're having a great day and that you've been following all of the exciting things that are going on in the literary community here in Atlantic Canada. There's been so much going on. It's been a crazy busy fall. We've launched a couple of books. I've spoken on a panel or two, but we're just cooking. I'm so excited. And if you want to catch up on what's happening, don't forget to sign up for all of our social media and follow us on YouTube. Sign up for our channel so you can see all of the author interviews. And today, our author is an award-winning, very famous in our neck of the world author, Elaine McCluskey, who writes about the people you might find in the corners of life. Boxers, bouncers, and dreamers. She has published 4 short story collections and 3 novels. The Gift Child, a novel, was released in March 2024. Rafael Has Pretty Eyes won the 2023 Alistair MacLeod Prize for Short Fiction. Her stories have appeared in literary journals, including Room, Subterrane, and the Annie Ganesh Review. One story was a Journey Prize finalist. Another placed second in the Fish International Contest in Ireland. She won the Pottersfield Portfolio Compact Fiction Contest and the Other Voices Short Story Contest. She had been on both the CBC Long List and the Relit Awards Long List 3 times. She lives in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, which is right across the bridge from me, where I am. And she has worked as a journalist, a book editor, and a university lecturer. So let's bring Elaine up to join us and say hello.
Hi.
Hey,
Elaine.
How are you?
Bookland. I'm fantastic. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Oh, we're just absolutely chuffed to have you. I've traveled all over the world, so every once in a while, little words come out that I've learned from some of my friends. Chuffed,
chuffed and gobsmacked. Eh?
Exactly. My Zimbabwean friends used to say that all the time. So
wow. Terrific.
So welcome. I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah.
And talk about your author journey.
I'm thrilled to be here. I can't imagine why you waited so long.
Right. I know. Me too.
No, I'm joking. I'm thrilled to be here.
It's, I never know where to start because I always have so many questions. And, when I was kind of reading up on you and read, a couple of your books, and one of your reviewers said that you write tragicomedy, like the tragicomedy of the human condition. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wow, does that feel like it encapsulates what you do, Elaine, in a little?
I think that's a very good description. I think I use humor to neutralize wounds and painful things that can otherwise destroy us. So I like to put these things out there, but I do make them comical at times. I do try to neutralize them because life can be pretty tough. So I do use it as a balm. Comedy is a balm.
And when did you write your first story or book, or like when did you first realize that you're a writer?
Yeah, great question. I wanted to be a writer my whole life, but I didn't know how I was going to make any money doing it. So I thought, I'll become a journalist. So I went to journalism school. I went to Western. I came back and I worked as a journalist for 16 years or so. And then my first maternity leave, I have 2 children. I thought, I'm going to write fiction because I really want to write fiction. So that's when I started. And I jumped right in and wrote a novel first. And then after that, I wrote short stories. So I got a taste of it and I haven't been able to stop since then because it's addictive. It's 5:30 every morning, tickety tick tick. So yeah, I was late coming to it, but I'm not leaving.
It is addictive, isn't it?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
I think, we're often asked, I'm an author as well, we're asked,
yes,
"Why do you write?"
yes,
And I can't imagine not writing,
yes,
you know? Talk about, so you started with fiction,
correct.
and predominantly short stories in the beginning?
Well, I did the novel first, and the Writers' Federation had a fabulous Going Fast was the novel, had a fabulous contest, the Bill Percy contest, and back then it was for Atlantic Canada, it was for Nova Scotia. So
Mhm.
I won the Bill Percy contest with the novel. I thought, "Oh, I'm on my way." But then I couldn't get it published right away. So then I started writing short stories, and I had some success in contests. So my first short story collection, The Watermelon Social, was published before the novel Going Fast. So I kind of the novel was there, but the short story collection got out before it. Yeah, and then I go back and forth.
I love that. What are the biggest differences between writing short stories and full length, other than just the length? Like,
The immediate satisfaction of short stories. I finished one today, and I'm like patting myself on the back. I'm just so pleased. I'm thrilled because I feel it worked. And I
Mhm.
told somebody once before that when you get a short story and it all comes together and it works, it's kind of like Wordle times 1,000. It's like, I got it. I got it. There's a point to this story. There's an impact to this story.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference. So I like the immediate gratification. And with a short story too, then you can send it somewhere. You can send it
Mhm.
to a literary journal, and then you get another kick, another
Mhm.
gratification. Where the novel, you have to stay with, and you have to be confident that it's going to work.
Mhm.
And with the short story, you kind of know if you send it out twice and it gets rejected, you might say, well, that's not working. Where the
Put that
novel,
aside.
yeah, novel's a long haul. And
Yeah.
then to get to the end and find out if it worked or not. So I do enjoy the immediacy of the short story. Yeah.
So, I mean, for folks who are watching who might be aspiring writers,
Hmm.
you've given some really good examples of where you could start. So,
Right.
we're in Atlantic Canada. What are some of the journals that you would submit a short story to?
Oh, there's some fabulous ones. Fiddlehead in Fredericton is incredible. Antigonish
Hmm.
Review. I'm kind of sentimental about the Antigonish Review because the Watermelon Social, which is my first collection, they
Hmm.
published that story, and then they entered it in the Journey Prize for me, and I
Right.
made the short list. So Antigonish Review, Dalhousie Review. And then there's new ones popping up all the time. Those are kind of the big three, but there's all kinds of fantastic literary journals now. So just,
Hmm.
yeah, go online, literary journals, and just send it. It's 99% of the time it's free to send it in,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then you get some gratification, and send it in the contest too. Contests might cost you $25, but
Hmm.
you get a chance of a prize, and yeah, so I'm all
Yeah.
for that.
All part of getting yourself out there
Yeah.
and getting to know the industry
Yes.
and what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, and the Writers Federation has annual contest every year too. So I recommend people enter that because you usually
Mhm,
get feedback with that too. So
mhm.
yeah,
And
more
those deadlines are looming, I believe, right
yeah,
now.
yeah. So the more you can get people to read you and then tell
Mhm,
you whether they like it or not, I
mhm,
think that's invaluable. Hmm.
mhm. And where do your ideas come from? I
Huh.
have to say, so let's hone in a little bit on the gift child.
Okay.
So I it's probably one of the most complex,
Hmm.
um, like, throw you off your
Yeah.
game reads
Yeah.
that I've probably read, and
Right.
you focus, and then you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Okay,
Hmm.
that's who that is."
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the beginnings and
Mm.
where the ideas came from.
Um, the gift child, the idea. Not even sure where oh, I know. The idea actually came from the opening scene. In the opening scene, there's a man riding a bicycle with a tuna head in the basket of his bicycle, and I actually saw that. I saw that somewhere, and I go, "Oh man, this is okay. I'm going in my head to that place right now." So,
You saw somebody
yeah,
drive down the street
yeah,
with
we did.
a
with a
Fish
tuna
head in a
in the
basket.
basket of a huge an old bicycle. So I
And
thought,
where were
okay,
you? Where were
we
you?
were down the Shore. I can't
Okay.
remember the town, but we were down the Shore. So that just kind of triggered something in my weird brain. And I
Uh-huh.
go, okay, well, why is that happening? Who is this person? So then it
Mhm.
just kind of, took off from there. And then I have a lot of the books set in Dartmouth. They go back and forth between a fictitious place called Pollock Passage and then
Mhm.
Dartmouth. So I kept going back and forth, and yeah, it just it took off. And I was playing in that book. You mentioned how it goes, it throws you. I was playing with
Mhm.
the idea of truth and what's truth and what is your version of the truth. So I played with that a lot in the book. And
Mhm.
this is what happened, and this is what could have happened, because truth is pretty fluid sometimes. So
Right.
I did play with that in the book. Even the ending, some people were a little mad at me. They go, "Well, did, did, did this happen or not?" I go, "Truth,
Eh,
your truth
eh,
and my truth, and then the real truth." So it was probably my most complex book, because I was playing with truth and I was playing with two locations. And I did have a female narrator,
Yes.
and I'm quite proud of that, because often I don't do that. And
Mm.
someone asked me why once, why do you have so many male characters? And I said, because I can never be mean to women. So I said, if I want somebody to be in a terrible situation,
I
I will
wanted
make
to be
that person mad,
man.
because they can handle it. So I'm very reluctant to be mean to women. But in this book, I had my narrator being a
Mm.
female, and she had her ups and downs in the book, but I think she's a dignified, likable human being.
Oh,
S-
yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
flawed, but in a way that we are all flawed and
yes,
very relatable. And
yeah,
it's funny because one of
yeah,
the things that I wrote down was like describe Harriet. And it
yeah.
it took me it's written in first person.
Mm,
And if I may say, and it kind of admitted it, she admits it later, an unreliable narrator. And
correct.
then, the scene you already brought up, what would have happened, what could
Mm,
have happened sections, which I
right.
found oh boy, I had left me with so many questions,
Sure, sure.
right?
Yeah,
Which was good.
yeah, yeah.
But describe Harriet. I mean, you
Uh,
did describe a little bit, but dive a
she
little
is
more.
physically, I can't remember. I believe she's tall. She's a former photojournalist,
Hmm.
which little inside, my husband was a photojournalist for 40 years. So all of the technical stuff in the book is correct.
Hmm.
Everything about her Leica camera. So I did have a resource here. So she's a former photojournalist. And then, like so many people these days, which I find is sad, and I hope we have a way of correcting it. She worked at a newspaper, and people started getting laid off, and the
Hmm.
business started shrinking due to the internet and Google and all those forces. So
Hmm.
she found herself not being a photojournalist anymore. So
Hmm.
she went on she thought she was going on a search to find out about her family, what was wrong with her family, but she was really searching about what was wrong with herself. And
Hmm.
it was easy at the first to blame everything. I think when we get to a certain age, a lot of us do that. She wanted to blame everything on Stan, her father, who is a
Hmm.
rather unpleasant character. And then the further she got into her journey, she realized it really wasn't Stan that was the problem. It was things had gone wrong in her life.
Hmm.
So that was the two-pronged journey. When she finds out the big secret about Stan, it isn't even that important. So her her secret's more important than Stan's. So that's
Right.
kind of who Harriet is.
It,
And yeah, she's independent, and she's not, afraid to go places by herself. And those were all things I liked about her. Yeah,
and yes, like I said, found her very, very likable and relatable. And you
great.
said something earlier about your, I don't think you call it your twisted mind or your unusual mind or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Most writers see things
Mm.
differently
Hmm.
than the average Joe walking down the street. You pause and you
Correct.
absorb or you take note.
Right.
And some of your descriptions, and I want to say
Hmm.
are almost disarmingly fresh.
Mhm.
But in a good
Thank
way,
you.
and not
Yeah.
sometimes really funny. And this one, I was highlighting stuff like as I
Yeah.
was going through. Like I said, I read it on my Kindle,
Yeah.
and things like the indoor outdoor green
Mm.
propylene carpet of humiliation and regret.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take that one. I like it.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's all you,
Yeah.
Elaine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what is it in your mind that when you see something, you make that comparison with an emotion?
I don't even do it on purpose. It's just
I love that.
that is just the weird brain I have. And it does work well for fiction writing. My kids tease me sometimes because in addition to descriptions, I'll then come up with truisms. And
Uh-huh.
someone people do this because da da da, and my son will say, "Mom, you just made that up. It's not a truism. It's not a truism because you said it." I go, "Well, yes, it is. It is. It is a
Uh-huh.
truism."
I
But
think
yeah,
that's
I don't
true.
know. I feel it. Like if I look at something, I do feel something. So
Mm,
that's where my descriptions come from. It like, okay, this is horrible or this is wonderful. It feels like I had one story and I said, some boy, something wonderful happened to him, and it was reminded him of the time as grade primary teacher brought a bunny into class and let him name it or something. So it's just
yeah.
yeah, just connect emotional connections.
I
And
love
what I
that.
tell people when I teach writing is try and transfer an emotion that you have about something. Remember what it felt like. Remember when you were really happy or really sad or really disappointed, and keep that in here somewhere, and then
Mhm,
put that into a story where it applies. So I don't think there's
mhm.
any wasted emotions in life.
Never.
Just save them and plug them in somewhere. But yeah,
Absolutely. And I
yeah.
think this would be a great time for you to maybe read a little bit from The
Okay.
Gift Child.
I'll do that. Great.
Excellent.
I mentioned Stan, and Stan is Harriet's father, and he was a former TV host, and so everybody knew him. And Harriet starts out thinking that Stan's the cause of all her problems, and later on it turns out he's not, but he's still a rather objectionable human being. So um, here's the scene where we introduce Stan and their cousin Graham. And Graham, not giving too much away, is the human being who was driving a bicycle with a tuna head on the in the basket. So here we go. Chapter 1. Nobody knew why my father stole Graham, but one day there he was, in Stan's living room in Dartmouth, as thin as a dying birch tree, as coarse as a pair of old wool pants. It was 9 months before Graham's disappearance, which Pollock Passage talked about for as long as it talked about the last blue lobster. Then rarely, if at all. Hey, Graham barked by way of greeting when he saw me. Hello, Graham. It was clear from his clothes and his demeanor that Graham was not from the city. It was clear from all of this, whatever it was, that it was a bad idea. Happy birthday, Graham said. It was my brother Peter's birthday, not mine, December 12th. Peter and I had agreed to stop by our father's house for cake. Just me and him, we had thought. Peter and I arrived at the same time, climbing the front steps and entering the house our parents purchased when I was 2. A suburban split with 3 bedrooms, a den, and a basement. Peter had once turned into a gym. Out front, our mother had planted a hydrangea, which blushed pink in September, the blooms ending up in a vase. After removing our boots in the hallway, we sat across from Graham, uneasy. If you knew my father the way I do, you would understand why. With Stan, you never knew what movie you were in. Was this Network or Willy Wonka? Our father was occupied in the kitchen. Graham was seated on the floral sofa directly under a $4,000 watercolor of a shaggy Sable Island pony. He had left a pair of lined green rubber boots in the hallway. There was a hole in the heel of one of his gray work socks. I had not seen Graham in over 20 years. He was, it later emerged, not exactly who he appeared on this day. He was a person who easily acquired questionable friends and questionable nicknames. Slick, Damien the Devil Child, the missing link. He was complicated. Since her mother's death, the house smelled different. It smelled like cooking oil and ennui, stale stories. On the dining room table, where Mother had once set her all-white bone china, was a stack of papers. On a hutch was a photo of our parents on their 50th anniversary. Stan's arm draped around Mother too possessively, too demonstrably, as though he was proving something. Next to them, a photo of a monkey in a straw hat with a chin strap. I hated that monkey. So that's the introduction.
I love that. So it obviously gives you great pleasure to bring these stories to light. Would you
Yeah,
say?
it does. I do enjoy myself immensely, which I don't know if I should admit that.
Oh, absolutely.
I do enjoy myself immensely. And you mentioned the tragic comedy. I do enjoy it when something is funny.
Mhm,
This is sadistic, but I also enjoy it when there's something that touches people emotionally, maybe makes them a bit sad. So
mm,
my goal is to do both in a
mhm,
story and in a book. I want to make people laugh, and
mhm.
sometimes I want to make them cry.
Well, any kind of emotion that your
Yeah,
writing elicits is obviously good writing,
yeah,
right?
yes,
So
yeah.
let's
So
talk a
that's the
little
goal.
bit. Yeah,
So,
let's talk a little bit about Raphael
okay.
has pretty eyes, and think about which. I haven't read the whole thing yet,
Yep,
but
yep.
for you, which
Hmm.
story in this collection is your favorite? I know that's
Uh,
sometimes an unfair question to ask an author.
um, two, two. The first one I'm going to say is going to have to be my favorite. It's called "It's Never What You Think It'll Be,"
Okay.
but I also really like the next one, which is called "It's Your Money." And when Bethany and I were ordering the book, putting the stories in order, originally "It's Your Money" was the first story,
Hmm.
and we both agreed that it was probably my best constructed story. But
I really
then
liked it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hmm.
But then we thought the first one was kind of a little more, the ending we thought would grab people. So, but It's Your Money. I really, it just flowed and a little, this collection was rather location setting driven. And
Hmm.
that story was set in a payday loan company. And
Hmm.
I had some expert research for that. I knew somebody who had worked in one while going to university.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's where I got all my details because it is really accurate. So in terms of how these places work.
And
Yeah.
like I said, when I was reading your books, I highlighted things that either made me laugh or
Hmm.
went, "Oh my God, that's fresh." And on
Yeah.
the very first page of "It's Never What You Think It Will Be,"
Yeah.
because I like having a backup when dealing with my mother, the
Yeah.
master of the emotional ambush, which I can't relate to because my mom was like a true
Uh,
angel. But
okay.
this
Okay.
was funny.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
master of the emotional ambush.
Yeah. Yeah. That stands. I like that term. I like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so, I mean
So that one was based I had gone to that's at a political roast, and I had the misfortune of going to a couple of those too. So
mhm.
my thinking was, if I'm enjoying this, I'm gonna get a story out of it. So, I actually did attend a couple of political roasts, and the details came from that. But It's Your Money, as I said, the payday loan, I had someone who worked at a store, and
Mhm.
then I went in myself. I like to go in, and look around and gather up some details too, but I did have an inside, source on that. Yeah.
So, do you collect characters, like, every day in your head? Like,
Oh,
how
that's a great question. What I do, I have always stories on the go. So right now
mhm,
I'm working on another collection. So I think I'm up to 8 stories. And then I have kind of like I call it my spare parts pile. So I have a spare parts pile. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that.
It's labeled spare parts. So
I'm going
because
to call you Dr. Frankenstein.
yeah, yeah, because sometimes you see something that's just so great.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just see a person, a place, or you
A
come up with
feature.
dialogue. Yeah, and some
Mm.
days I'm just on a dialogue roll, so I will just
Mm.
write dialogue, and I don't know where it's going to go yet.
Mhm.
So I will put that in the spare parts file, and then when it suits the work in progress,
Mhm.
it may make its way in there, or maybe it'll be the start of another story. So yeah, I'm constantly yeah, I wrote some dialogue yesterday. Oh, Elaine, that's just A1. So I put it aside, put it aside, and it'll find its way somewhere. It's
Uh-huh.
weird. Some days the dialogue just comes, and other days it's not
Awesome.
as forthcoming. So yeah, I have things on the go, and then
Mhm.
I do have what I call my spare parts file. Mm,
I love that, and
yeah,
it makes actually reassures me that, I am a writer because
yeah.
like, if something happens to me
Hmm.
and it's the first time I've experienced it, I
Mm.
really take note of, like, my very first anxiety attack,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Use
know?
that.
Right,
Save it and use
absolutely.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Fortunately, it doesn't happen very often, but
yeah, yeah.
my 90-something-year-old mom had fallen in the kitchen, and I
Oh
was looking
gosh.
after her, and the EMT came,
Oh,
and I had tried to help her and threw out my back, and then I'm sitting there
oh,
watching them take care of her and thinking to myself, "I I won't be able to take care of her anymore. Like, I've
oh
ruined my
gosh.
back." How and I started it was awful, but now
Yeah.
I know I can describe a panic attack like nobody's
Wonderful.
business.
Yeah, well, use that. Get your
Mhm.
spare parts file going. Write it down
Right.
while it's fresh, and then use it when it works. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my process. And one thing I learned, I've been doing this for a while.
Uh-huh.
Not everybody does it the same way, so
Right.
there's no wrong way.
Yeah.
Some people will not even put any dialogue in the first run through, or they
Right.
just want the story, they just want the plot. And then some people will go back and add the color. So
Mhm.
there's no perfect way of doing it. Well, maybe it's perfect for some people, but there's no
Yeah.
standard way of doing it. So I allow
Yeah.
myself the luxury of maybe I do it differently.
And you reassure your students you
Yeah,
teach and you do
yeah,
workshops, and I
yeah.
also wanna make sure that before we finish, I let people know where to find you. So
Sure.
Elaine's on Facebook, find her on Elaine McCluskey, and Instagram, this is the best Instagram handle, at Mousy the Gray Cat.
That's me.
So, if you wanna find her,
Yeah.
and then you can also, go to her website. So
Mm,
so we started in on some of this advice, but I want to
mhm.
take a minute or two for you to read from Raphael Has Pretty Eyes. And which
Okay.
story had you decided that you might like to?
I thought I'd read the first page of the first one,
Okay,
the one with the master of the emotional
my
ambush.
favorite line. All
Okay,
right, let's
here
do
we
it.
go. It's called "It's Never What You Think It'll Be." I'm at a toast and roast for my mother's fourth husband, Wayne. Wayne, of course, is a dud. Who else do you get on the fourth attempt? Idris Elba? I brought my roommate Cedric because I like having backup when dealing with my mother, the master of the emotional ambush. You never know when you arrive at a sushi bar for your 30th birthday if your new stepfather will be there holding a foil balloon. You never know if his name will be Scuffy or Dwayne. The roast is at a Lions Club hall with shaky ceiling tiles and 20 tables dressed up like they're going someplace special. On the tables are programs, each with a photo of Wayne, wearing the smug face of a reality TV polygamist. Outside it is winter in Canada and cold as hell. Imagine if you lived someplace hot, said Cedric, as we locate our table. Unlucky number 17, Samarita. And every day you could just get up and put on a t-shirt and live. Sounds sick, I admit, buying in. Is that what makes a Canadian, Cedric asks? The ever present fear of perishing. He gives me that look, the one that tells me we are leaving the here and now. We are strapping on our what if wings, and we could, if we tried hard enough, be MMA fighters or berserkers. We could be heroes. Is that why we high five each other when one of us defies those fears? When one of us does something batshit crazy, like the dude in Alberta who decided to fight a cougar barehanded to save his dog? A cougar, I'm impressed. Outside of Tim's. I guess I'll just put down my double-double and fight a 200-pound wildcat known to kill animals 4 times its size, a predator that can jump 20 feet. I'll just fight him because I love my dog. Well, that's something, isn't it? I had a girl and I thought she loved me, but she didn't, says Cedric. How'd you know? She slept with my brother. I had a girlfriend who only dated me because I owned a Newfoundland dog. And then we both stare at the head table, and I get that feeling, the one that convinces me that life is one inside joke after another, and that people fall into 2 categories: the people who believe Trailer Park Boys is real and those who don't. And I no longer know where I fit, because last night I saw Bubbles driving a Maserati Quattroporte with smoked windows on the Waverly Road in Dartmouth, and it seemed quite normal to me. It seemed as normal as anything I am doing on this particular fucked up day.
The image of Bubbles driving.
I did see him.
Did you?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
did.
goodness. Shout out to the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
We love
see
you.
you. We love you. Yeah.
We see you. Oh my goodness. And you know what? You've got me smiling. I've had
Wonderful.
such a good time. I can't believe we're already at our time. And
Lovely.
it's just been so much fun. Do you have any last words of advice to folks
No,
watching?
just read books, read my books, read Anne's books.
Yes.
watch us on the show, and yeah, because there's so many exciting things happening in Atlantic Canadian publishing that just
Isn't that the truth?
yeah, just read.
Yes.
And if you read me, I'll make you laugh and I'll make you smile, but read all of us because there's just so much good stuff out there.
I couldn't agree more. And
Yeah,
I'm going through your pile and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. So I'm
wonderful.
really happy that we finally had a chance to get together and chat
Yes.
about books. It's been a blast.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, and best of luck with all your books.
Thank you so much. And we'll hope to run into you soon and we'll have you
Yeah.
back.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Elaine.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today on the Author Journey. I'm Anne O'Connell with OC Publishing. And make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our wonderful shows featuring authors from all ilks and talking about the industry in general. So I hope you're reading some good books and that you're having a great day. And we'll see you next time on the Author Journey. Bye for now.